Hello, I'm Yutaka Watanabe, a tax accountant. Welcome to the channel Tax Accountant Nabe solves your money problems. Today, I'll talk about being notified of a revised tax amount immediately after a tax audit hearing. Let me start by asking, what kind of image comes to mind when you hear the term tax audit? You probably imagine a process conducted carefully over time under strict rules. That's how it should be, right? But what if there were a shocking gap between the ideal procedure and reality? Today, based on a real experience, I'd like to walk you through a somewhat unbelievable lesson stories titled The Pitfall of a 30 Minutes Tax Audit, The Reality of Audits. Please try to imagine this as your own situation. You walked into a tax office thinking it will be a quick and routine check, just a simple matter, nothing serious. But then, unexpectedly, a financial nightmare unfolds. A tax audit, which should proceed step by step, suddenly goes completely off track at an astonishing speed. Let's take a look together. First, let's review the basic flow of a tax audit. To understand how abnormal this situation is, we need to know what is supposed to happen. A standard tax audit follows a structured rhythm. Step 1. In the morning, the auditor carefully listens to the taxpayer, gaining a detailed understanding of the business background and the substance of transactions. They ask about business activities, income and expenses, and cost breakdowns. Step 2. In the afternoon, document verification begins. The auditor compares the morning's explanations with accounting records and receipts, checking them thoroughly. Listen carefully and verify thoroughly. It may sound obvious, but these two elements are essential. Only when both are present can a proper and fair audit be conducted. However, here comes the problem, the 30-minute surprise. As I mentioned earlier, instead of the standard process, the entire audit was compressed into just 30 minutes of conversation. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? There was no document verification at all, something that should have taken place in the afternoon. It was as if someone had pressed the fast forward button on a remote control. This unnatural speed completely destroyed the process. Then, immediately after that brief conversation, the person was suddenly told, "This is the final revised tax amount." Wait a second, what? No prior warning, no document checks, yet suddenly a document with a calculated tax amount was presented. Normally, such figures should be revived step by step based on objective evidence. Instead, it felt like a number had simply dropped out of nowhere. So why did such an abnormal situation occur? Let's focus on one key factor, the auditor's workload. Auditors are human too. It's easy to imagine that they handle an overwhelming number of cases and are extremely busy. But does that justify skipping essential procedures like documents verification? Absolutely not. The excuse of not enough time should never override the fundamental duty of accurate verification. This situation is, frankly speaking, very dangerous. The strongest message this experience conveys is simple yet powerful. If careful verification is omitted, a fair audit cannot be achieved. Administrative efficiency or tight schedules are irrelevant to taxpayers. There is no valid excuse for skipping steps that ensure fairness. Ignoring the entire process and imposing a conclusion undermines the very purpose of a tax audit. Finally, I'd like you to think about this. If the outcome of something as important as tax can be influenced by an auditor's personal schedule or workload, can we truly call that system fair? If speed and efficiency are prioritized at the expense of proper procedures, it leads to a deeply troubling reality. This real experience reveals how fragile a system can be, even one we trust to function properly. How do you feel about this? Please take a moment to think about it from your own perspective. Today, I spoke about being notified of a revised tax amount immediately after a tax audit hearing. For more information on tax audits, please also visit the page of Yutaka Watanabe Tax Audit Office. I will continue sharing insights on money topics, so please subscribe to the channel. Tax Accountant Nabe solves your money problems.